Okay, hello guys. So in this video, we're gonna talk about how to develop a simple Android app and using also Genymotion to view it and debug the app itself and checking it out. Um, and the reason I used Genymotion, which again I'll talk about a little bit more detail later on, is because I do not have an Intel processor, and unfortunately you're gonna have to have an Intel processor in order to use that built-in capability in Android Studio. Um, I have an AMD processor, so we can really check it out really quick. So if you do have this processor AMD or anything else other than Intel, you're probably not gonna be able to use it, and Genymotion will offer you an alternative, which is pretty cool. So first, to start the whole process, you can have download, of course, a bunch of uh, programs and software. So Genymotion, you can just Google it, or this is the link. I'll put it down below this video, the links. So go there and download it. I put a note there, and the note just says use the one with VirtualBox if you don't have VirtualBox already installed. So in my case, I had a VirtualBox, so I didn't need to download the one with VirtualBox. But if you don't have it, just download that one, and I'll show it to you right now, actually. So again, just Google it and go download from here. Click on that link. And then once you scroll down, you're gonna see it right here. So download Genymotion. Get it here and get it without VirtualBox. So either one. And to download it, you're gonna have to sign in, make a username, a password, and then just simply download it. And it is for free, so that is pretty cool. And it looks something like this. I have everything open, of course, just download everything open just because it will take forever if I need to wait for programs to open, and just expedite uh, talking and making this video. So I do not remember having any difficulty downloading it. It's pretty simple. Just click with the prompts and keep on going. There's one step that you're gonna have to select a type of phone that you want to use. In my case, I selected the Google Nexus 5, but you can really download whatever you want. And the specs for each phone, you can find them, here and check them out and look at them. But that's the one I selected. And if you want to start it, you just click Start here, and then a virtual phone will appear that you can essentially use. But we'll use it in this case for our app that we're going to develop in a second. The second thing, if you don't have Java Development Kit, you're going to have to download that. And even before downloading Java Development Kit, which is here, so just go to oracle.com and go to Java SE downloads. Just click on Java downloads, and that will take you to this window. And then right here, depending on how many bits you have on your computer, in my case, I have a 64-bit computer, so you just download this one right here. And once you download it, you can go to my program files, and then you're going to find it right here, downloaded. So that's something you have to do in order to download in order for Android Studio to work. So, and Java Development Kit is really, it's a programming language that was developed by Sun Microsystems, and then Oracle, I believe, bought it in 2009. And just a really quick thing I want to point out right here is if you want to, if you're not familiar with Java, and I'm certainly not that familiar, I used it once or twice probably, but there's a lot of tutorials, and this is a very simple program that you can run. You're going to have also Notepad++. So once you download Java, you can go open up Notepad++ and then really just write this simple code as you can see here. So class test, one thing in Java, your program name has to match whatever class name you have right here. So we start the class, then you write public static void main string arguments. And in this case, we want to just develop a simple program, your typical hello world program, and we just want to print it out. So to compile this program and run it, you can go to your command prompt and just go here, write CMD, open up a command prompt. And in this case, let's go to change directory and go to the location we have the Java installed. So change directory Java. So in the Java directory, because I have it already, I have a program called Java test, and I saved it there, as you can see, test.java. To run the program, to compile it, you go to the directory that has your Java program, and in this case, I just renamed the file test2 just for illustration purposes, and you write the class as test2, and you can see right here, it's still not compiled, so you compile by running javac, and then just write test2.java. And in that case, it's compiling right now. And then just simply write Java test2.java again, and then you're going to see the output. Now let's take out, don't put .java, just say Java test2, and then you see hello world, which is the output that we are expecting from this simple program. So this is just, ensuring that you are able to run Java and it's actually working and compiling. There are a couple of other videos online that you can go check out that talk about how to, download Java and talk way more detail about it. But in our case, we're interested in developing an app using Android Studio. So let's move on. And I have a note here that says, note in your environment variables, add C, program files, Java, JDK, whatever version you downloaded, as I say here. And this is something important that I had an issue with when I downloaded it. So just go to your PC and then go to Properties, go to Advanced System Settings, Environment Variables. This is what I'm talking about. So double click the path, just add the path where your Java is to be able to compile it and run your program. So keep that in mind once you do it. Okay, so you downloaded Java, Genymotion. Right now you need to download Android Studio, and this is a link when you download it. Pretty simple again, nothing. I do not remember having any issues also downloading it, so just click here and download it, and just follow the prompts. Again, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of tutorials out there that talk about it, but in our case, again, we just want to use it to develop our simple app. So once you do that, what's going to happen is, just zoom out a little bit, you can have a file, once you open up Android Studio, so you're going to have it right here, open it, it's going to look something like this. And this is standard in any single, every single time you open it. You're going to have on the left-hand side, you're going to have your main, manifests here, Java, and then resources that you're going to need. In our case, what we're going to do, it's a pretty simple app, and the app essentially, what you're going to do, we're going to develop a button that a person will click, and then once you click that, another prompt shows up that says hi, right? So really simple, pretty basic. Uh, Android Studio also offers a sample and tutorials of other type of apps, but this one will allow you to actually include some code, Java code in it, and then we'll see how to compile it. Pretty simple. Now, just to go through this really quick, you're gonna have Android manifest. At this point, I really didn't include anything. I'll show you what I edited uh, in a bit, but I'll just go through it. The manifests here, you have Android manifest, and this is standard in every single one. You're gonna have the name of your application right here, the name of the app, and so on. And this will all be done initially. So you're going to see once you download Android Studio, there's going to be a prompt that says, start project, and click on start new project. And then you're going to select the blank app. And then, just you keep on going until you find the screen that looks like this. In the Java, uh, prompt right here, so you're gonna have, if you click on your main activity, and this is where you're gonna change some code, and everything here is gonna be standard. And I added this, and I'll describe what this is. But you're gonna have all the standard built in, once you open up Android Studio. So nothing you have to do right there at this point. Application test, we're not gonna use that. We're gonna use Genymotion instead. You're gonna see a layout here, and this is really important how your actual app looks. So it offers an environment where you can change, add buttons, the shape of it, and change it the way you want. You can have a design here and text, so you can either, once you're a little more experienced, you can use your text, but you can also use a design to manually change it, which we're gonna show in a second. You can have menu, values. We're gonna also use strings. In this case, this is basically every string they have in your app. So for example, if you go back to your activity main here, we have, if I just go here and zoom a little bit in, I name this click here, and I name this press the button below. All these are strings that you can essentially define in string. I did not, I hard coded them. So you can either hard code, or you can create a string right here, which is obviously preferred, just because if in the future you want to change something, you just go here and change the string, and everything automatically would change. If you hard coded it, you have to manually go each one and change them manually. So just keep that in mind again. But for our case, we're just going to use the hard coded strings right here. Okay, so let me just describe what I did. Uh, as I mentioned, I really didn't do anything. First here, you're gonna have something saying hello world. I just went double clicked it and then changed it to zoom in a little bit more. The definition here, this is a layout, activity main. So in the content main, just go and zoom in. And as I mentioned, it's gonna say hello world, but you can double click it and then change it to whatever string you want. I said press the button below, and here to create this button, you simply go here and then click the button, double click on it, and then add it wherever you want. In my case, I'm not gonna do that. I added the button already, and then put it wherever you want, and again double click on it, and then add text. I said click here, right? So you have this button, and then press the button below. So the question is, what is this button doing, right? And once you click it, we said we want another window to pop up here and say hi. Well, to do this, you're going to have to add some code, some Java code, and the code is going to be added in the main activity. In our case, we're going to use this code right here. I hope you guys can see it. You can pause and check it out, but it's pretty simple. What it's going to do, it's something called toast, and that is something, that Android provides. It's just a small prompt that shows up, and actually you see it when you use Google Hangout or anything like that. But if you look here, you have public void on button tab, which when you click that button, it's going to show view v, toast, my toast, and toast.make text, get application context, and as I said, it's going to print hi there. Toast.length long, and then close parentheses, and then my toast.show. So that's really the code that we want to add for the button to do what we wanted it to do. So if we go back to the contents main, you need to double click on that button and then scroll to where you have, let's see here, ID. So ID is going to be the button they have, and then on click, which essentially means once you click that, just find out that property, and then you need here and select the on button tab, which is basically that code that we entered in the main activity. So click on it, and then that's pretty much it. Once we click it, you're gonna basically see the word hi. Well, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you had Intel processor, it's gonna be pretty easy. You're gonna go tools, and then go to Android and AVD manager. But in my case, that is not gonna work, because if I run this, I'm gonna get an error. Let's see what the error is, which is cannot launch AVD in emulator. So I have this this error. And again, as I mentioned, this error is because I don't have the Intel processor. So an alternative path is going to be Genymotion. Now, I already did the process, because it's not just downloading Genymotion. You have to do something right here, and now let me show you how to do that. Once you download it, you go into File, so you go to Settings, you go to Plugins, and then you go find Genymotion. So right now I found it here because I already downloaded it, but you're probably not going to find it. So what you do, you go to Browse Repositories, and then you try and go and find Genymotion. Then you find it here. Then there's gonna be a prompt here saying download plugin. Basically, pretty simple. Just click that, download the plugin, and then close that. And at this point, you're gonna search for it, and then you're gonna find it, and you just click install. Here it says uninstall because I already had it, but you just click install, and then you're gonna download Genymotion. So that's that. Now we're gonna try and compile in order to check out our app to see if in fact it does what we think it should do. So right now we want to run the app and check it out and see what it's doing, and see if it gives us the results that we're expecting. So you go here to this red icon, and then you select the type of device that you have right here. Click start. So right now the virtual device should start in a second, hopefully. Yeah, these programs are pretty heavy on the computer. I mean, you probably have to have a minimum of, I believe, 4 gigs of RAM to be able to run all these programs. That's recommended from Google. So just keep that in mind as well when you try and develop these apps. I have an HP, which I actually regret buying. It's really not, it's an HP. Don't even remember what it is, but definitely not recommended. All right, so right now we're still waiting for the app to show up. Essentially, it's a virtual phone. if you did have a phone, there's another way that you can check out your app using your actual phone. I do not. I have an iPhone, but if you do have an Android phone, you can actually check it out using your phone. So right now, this is your virtual phone right here, and just be patient for a bit. Your app will show up in a second once you click the debug. So you close this and then go click on the debug button. I like to click on messages, just see what's going on here. So waiting for the ADB. All right, so finally it compiled, and this is our app. So my application, you can obviously change this. So basically the app would do, you click here, then you should say, see this hi prompt and disappear. So there you go, as we expected. So pretty cool. And from here, obviously, you can change whatever you want and start playing with it, add another button, do something else, add a little bit more code. And then eventually, once you're happy with it, you can uh, compile it and put it in the Google Play Store. And then people can start enjoying your app. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Um, if you have any questions, any comments, again, I mean, I'm learning myself. The more I learn, I'll probably hopefully post more videos because I think this is a really good way to learn and all of us learn from each other. So hope you enjoyed this video again. And if you have any questions, just add to the comments. Thank you.